Hello, and welcome to the Flight of the Crow's Wing. Follow along with us and the Backroad Capers as we visit pictographs, petroglyphs, slot canyons, and a house on fire. After Jay's return from Salt Lake City, we decided to visit the South Fork Indian Pictographs.
Jay had said he had a list of things that he needed to see, and pictographs and petroglyphs were included on that list, so this was a good place to start. The trail is located on the Moqueeth Mountain Wilderness Study Area.
It begins with a very sandy and very fun four-wheel drive road that goes past the pink coral sand dunes.
At the end of this fun track, we parked and got out to hike. Is that what it says?
My phone just starts off. That's the first time it's ever said that.
What did it say?
Clean your camera lens.
We're at the desert.
Pretty, pretty flowers.
The short hike took us right along the cliff edge.
Also on Jay's list was to see an arch.
Do it. Be subtle. Be supple.
Subtly supple.
Wait, isn't this about where that guy cut off his arm?
Jay's first.
Similar
arch.
area, yeah.
Alright, here it is. Jay's first arch.
Woo!
The pictographs are protected from the elements by a giant alcove on the cliff wall. They were painted by a peoples called the Basket Makers between 62 BC and 452 AD.
Pictographs. So many.
They use pigments made from rabbit brush, ochre, and natural mineral deposits in the area.
So, the wind is so windy that there's one of our rugs. This is what our other rug looks like. Our chairs won't stay up. And there's dust and dirt everywhere. There's dirt in the kitchen. And Jay and Elizabeth are currently working on supper inside Jay's truck.
The wind has always been a problem when we try to cook in a teardrop, so when Jay offered to let us cook in the flipback, we couldn't say no.
Tragedy this morning. Got down in the 20s last night, totally unexpected. Possibly killed our camp chef water heater. Lines are all frozen. Complete mess up on our part. Water in a bucket, not frozen. Hose is frozen. Sad, sad day.
Also on Jay's list was to hike the Narrows of Zion. The main trail to the Narrows of Zion can only be reached by shuttle. The shuttle can only be boarded with tickets. The tickets can only be reserved with advanced planning, which we did not do. Luckily, Jay was able to snag us 3 tickets. They were for noon, but we weren't complaining because we were going on a hike. We parked the trucks, went to the visitor center, boarded the shuttle, and up the road we went. Where are we?
The Narrows, Zion National Park.
How's the water?
I don't know because I can't feel it. I have socks on.
Oh, you got your water socks on. Look at you.
It's good because my feet were getting too hot. Now they're just comfortable.
I don't think I've ever hiked on a trail with so many people. The worst was when we passed people that were walking back that said to each other, "Wow, I'm glad we left first thing in the morning."
Getting deep.
And even though we normally like to hike where there is no one else around, we decided to just go with it and enjoy the beauty of the surroundings. And besides, it made for some pretty good people watching.
That's refreshing. Yes. Glad I wore my water pants. My husband, he's all alone at the waterfall. Look at that.
While technically an easy hike, the river's rounded rock bottom makes the footing treacherous.
Especially for people with weak or delicate ankles.
And for those of you scared to go hiking by yourselves, don't worry, you'll never be alone.
Some people up the difficulty by walking with a selfie stick. Others employed 2 hiking poles to keep them from falling over.
The scenery is amazing and requires lots of photographs.
What did you find?
And this is me, half deaf and dumb, realizing someone is talking to
Excuse me. So what did you find? Slot Canyon.
me. Duh. I did manage to find the deepest part of the river, and let me tell you, that water is cold on all your parts.
The birds seemed oblivious to the crowds. Just kept on doing their normal birdie things, bobbing their butts like it was no big deal. After the 3-mile mark, we started to see less and less people, and as the crowds thinned, we were able to enjoy more of this. We stopped a couple of times to help people take pictures of each other, and they in turn took pictures of our little group. It was just like in pre-COVID days. All too soon, we had to turn around so we could head back to catch the shuttle. All in all, we did about 7 miles that day, all in water. It was all very pretty. The canyon walls on the riverside portion of the trail are covered with flowers and other beautiful plants. Many people just walked right on by, but not me. You know I like my flowers.
Watch out! Hey! Welcome, huh? He's a hungry boy.
Tourists, give me something to eat!
Also on Jay's list were more slot canyons.
We found the Diana's Throne Slot Canyon Trail on the All Trails app.
This is the entrance to the Diana's Throne Slot Canyon. We're up ridiculously early. Thanks, Jay.
You're welcome.
I'm on the way. Ephemeral.
Boy, that'll piss off a bunch of waterfall people.
It's a beautiful 2.3-mile loop trail, if you have a rope, which we didn't.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, doing this today after we're sore. Yeah, that's sucking. Here, we hold the camera.
Holy crap, this thing weighs like 10 pounds.
I know.
You can do it, Jay. It's another. I mean, I don't mean to be a bitch or anything, but one more foot grab or anything.
When it was my turn, I did not exactly choose the right line and almost got my big old butt stuck. Had to crawl on my hands and knees to get out of that predicament.
We had to find a way around this slide. It was just too steep for us to climb.
So we backtracked and climbed out of the slot canyon and walked around the top. We even got to take pictures of more flowers before climbing back down in the slot.
My shoulders got stuck right about there. Here, get Jay's camera.
Well, maybe alright, the camera comes straight down. It's so pretty.
Isn't it gorgeous there? See, Jay's hips are slim enough he can probably fit through there. That
It's a slide for Jay.
I worried about getting that far and then being like a cork in a bottle.
Jay had me shuck sand into the sun shafts.
Pocket sand!
He said it enhanced their beauty or something. I don't know.
With plenty of time left in this day, we decided to drive up to Bryce Canyon National Park for lunch.
This area has a lot of really cool things to see and a lot of beautiful places, all within a few hours' drive of each other. And we heard that Bryce was one of those places that we couldn't miss, so we just had to go and see the Hoodoos.
The drive through the Dixie National Forest near the Red Rock Canyon was gorgeous.
There are many places to stop along the main roadway in Bryce. This was the first one we stopped at. We found the view to be beautiful and surreal. Then we stopped at the Natural Bridge.
It's not a bridge, it's an arch. And we saw this interesting feature in the landscape. Molly's nipple.
I don't know who Molly was, and I was too afraid to Google it. Then we drove to a nearby hike that promised a cave and a waterfall. It was more like a drippy alcove and the overflow from a Mormon-dug canal, but hey, it's all good. Someone likes all these rock spires.
Hoodoos?
You do. From what I read, this was the only trail that you could get to the bottom of the Hoodoos. The mossy cave had some moss. That was cool. And the waterfall had lots of water coming over it. That was cool too.
Caves and waterfalls. It's like being back in North Carolina, isn't it, Jay? Today on Repair Time with Beth the Builder, it's the oven drawer.
I guess washboard roads and a heavy griddle pan don't mix. The next morning we packed up to head on down the road.
Moving camp to eastern Utah, we crossed the Glen Canyon Dam.
This dam is 710 foot tall, and behind it, it forms Lake Powell.
Damn. Heading towards Moab and the Canyonlands, we saw a sign for the Sand Island Petroglyphs.
And we needed to find a restroom, so win-win.
And you know we just had to stop.
Some of these seem to show violence against men on ugly horses. Another appears to show a man jumping for joy.
Yippee! Ugly Horseman is dead!
Later that day,
We found a little campsite on BLM land outside of Monticello, Utah.
we decided to call it the Cow Pasture Campsite because there were cows.
All YouTube stars grind coffee in the videos, right?
Another thing on Jay's list were cliff dwellings.
Another All Trails find is Mule Canyon, leading to the house on fire.
We parked on the dirt road at the Mule Canyon trailhead and hiked the 1 mile into the ruins.
So we probably got another half hour or so. I'm not going until it hits it.
These ruins are very popular with photographers because during a certain part of the day the sun will reflect up onto it and make it appear to be engulfed in flames. I thought we only had to wait half an hour for this to happen, but I was wrong. It was the wrong time of the year. It turned out to be a little bit longer than that.
Not truly a house. This is actually a 2,500-year-old granary used by ancient Pueblans to store their corn.
We ended up waiting about 3.5 hours, but it was okay. It gave us time to nap, watch the native wildlife, and talk to some of the other folks that had gathered to watch the same thing we had.
That's our campsite. Go find your own place. Go on now. Go on. Get! We packed up the truck with the tent and our overnight bags, locked up our trailer, and we headed into the Canyonlands. It was early in the morning, and we made a quick stop at Newspaper Rock. This rock that tells stories has over 650 designs of humans, animals, and other esoteric things. Leaving Newspaper Rock, we headed into the Needles district of the Canyonlands, where we'd spend the next 2 days on a four-wheel drive adventure. But that's a story in and of itself.
You look good. Keep coming. You have to bump it. Bump it, bump it, bump it. That looks good. Perfect.
Thank you so much for joining us.
And remember, if you're unsure what to call it, just call it rock art. That way you'll be correct either way.
If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends.
And like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you again.